While infertility affects men and women at equal rates, it's still largely considered a women's health issue. And joining us this morning to share her perspective on how we can change the narrative is consultant obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Andrea Carey. Morning, Doc. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time. So one of the first things I was asking off air, Doc, and I love what you said, when I said, Doc, but how can we change the narrative and the perspective? And you said it's not a women's issue or a men's issue, it's a family issue.
It's a family issue.
Expand on that for me.
Well, because primarily the partnership is a man and a woman, and they need to work together to overcome this problem. This is a common problem. About 10%, the World Health Organization says 10% of couples are going to struggle with infertility. Mm-hmm. So and we already know that the breakdown is that a third of the time it's a woman's reproductive issue. 1/3 of the time it's a male's reproductive issue, and then a third of it is the couple together. They could have children with someone else, but not necessarily together. Mm-hmm. So it can be a woman's issue if a third of it is just the woman alone, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to start as a community, as a country, to start, and as men and women interacting with each other, to understand that this is a family issue. And it's an issue where you get, especially in our culture, a lot of pressure after you've been together for some time and you haven't had a child. Hey, where's the children? Mm. And so we do put a lot of social pressure on couples who've been together and there's no children, not understanding that they are struggling. Yeah. And I find that our men tend to be a little resistant to the possibility that
it might be an issue.
It might be,
that they might be a third of the problem.
His issue, mm-hmm. But he's not willing, because I think it affects his masculinity, his sense of self, mm-hmm. to address that this is a problem. But if we can't find out the reason for the problem, we can't fix the problem. Yeah. So they have to be participants, mm-hmm. in this problem. And women are very motivated to do what's necessary, and their tests are much more invasive than the men's tests. Mm-hmm. But yet the men won't, and I think their test is more enjoyable than the test that women do. So what's the problem? You know?
So what I'm hearing is I feel from day one, both persons should just approach it as we are having
a problem. We're having a problem. Let us go.
We're both gonna test. Right. And not just, look, why it's not happening for you? But Doc, you said
something. And it put a lot of pressure on the woman that it must be her problem, when some of the time I know the men know that it's not the woman's problem.
Doc, the writer in me heard you say something and it's stuck in the back of my head.
Go ahead.
Where you said, and sometimes they just can't be fertile together.
Right.
So the woman may be able to have a child elsewhere, and the man may be able to have a child elsewhere, but it's just together, it's not working.
Right.
Doc, explain that to me, because right in my head now, me here, can I tell you, jacket just came into my head? No, because it's a reality.
But it's a reality, and they did studies on it.
Yes.
It showed that you are more likely to, in a couple who's been trying, if the woman goes out with someone else and has torrid sex, she's more likely to become pregnant with that outside person. So it therefore meant that she didn't have a problem.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And they've actually shown studies where
and that's why some of the
sperm actually killing the other sperm that went in before.
Yeah.
Because remember, we're still, although we have all this technology and whatever,
we're still human.
We're still anthropologically trying to survive. And to make your gene pool survive.
Yeah.
So
Doctor just saved a lot of relationships a while ago. I'm going to tell you why now, because there's some men out there now who the wife is saying, can we go to the doctor? And so they go outside and have a child
that they can have
to prove that it's not my fault, because somebody is having a child for me. When really it may be that together there's, look here, two of them need to go.
And just remember too, when he went outside, not necessarily that is his child. That might be presented to him as his child. So that's another mix-up in Jamaican society.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So he's there going around crowing, I have 3 children. Oh, but what is wrong with her? It may be that he might have 3 jackets that he's unaware of.
Lord have mercy.
So we need to still go back to the family issue, though, because people are struggling.
Yes.
And I think, I always say to people, there are three things that break up a relationship: money problems, infidelity, and
Infertility.
And not necessarily that you've been diagnosed, even the process to become unfertile, right, is very hard.
So I like when you said that, because there was a time where people felt that infertility was it. But depending on the stage and where you are, obstetricians and gynecologists like you can assist people.
Sure.
Technology is
and
far
what's
advanced.
great, I said to some people, you are so lucky you're in the 21st century, where we have things like in vitro fertilization.
Yes.
So if the tubes are damaged from other reasons, we are able to sometimes bypass that problem.
Right.
Gentlemen with low sperm count, there are so many procedures we have now to overcome the low sperm count, like intrauterine insemination, ICSI, which is actual insemination of the sperm into the egg so that they can get pregnant. Even if it's one good sperm, we can use that one good sperm. So don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's work at it as a couple. It might make you stronger. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be painful. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But we are working together to have our family together.
And don't wait too long.
And don't wait too long.
Don't wait too long.
Yeah.
Once you realize that there might be a problem, go and find
So
out.
we always say, if you've been trying for a year, please go in and see a doctor. Because really, if you think of it, what we're saying in a backways way is that the possibility of pregnancy, if there's no problem, is so high. You're supposed to get pregnant in a year. So if you haven't been getting pregnant in a year, something may be
wrong.
And it may be something simple that can be fixed and sorted. And then you can have your 3 or 4 children that you want, if you can afford them.
Doc, oh my gosh, I could talk to you all morning, but that was so empowering and revealing. Clive Mount don't come from off the ground. Oh no. So it's important. It's an important discussion. Thank you, Doc. Consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, Dr. Andrea Carey, telling you it's a family issue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's work together.